Hello and welcome back to the Acusera 24/7 training series. In this part I'm going to go over the generation of charts and the interactions available with each chart. We're going to begin by starting on our home page. We're going to increase our items per page and we're going to look at our elements. So we select our analytes. We can click here on our dots to our charts. However, similar to the result history screen, this will only show results and charts in our case that is specific to that assay. So we would only receive results on the QC test that is albumin, clinical chemistry, the Amola 10213 with the lot numbers 1183UN, 1066U. Because we wish to see charts across all of our albumins, we come up to the top right and we click charts underneath that icon. When we get here, we are greeted by the chart screen. Before we generate a chart, we can choose the dates of when we want to see our chart data from. So we have our date from and our date to screen, and we have our chart selection. In Acusera 24/7, we have the choice of 3 charts. We have our Levi Jennings, our histograms, and our performance summary. We can also choose which lots we wish to see, which level. So our level 1 lots, our level 2, and our level 3. We can choose whether to combine the charts, whether or not we want to have our SDIs fixed to either 2 or 3, or if we want them to be variable, where we then see data plotted all the way from our highest and our lowest, just in case they do fall outside of our SD target ranges. So we're going to go ahead and generate a Levi Jennings chart with all 3 lots, and we'll be greeted with different graphs. We have 2 individual graphs here. So this is for both of our lots, as you can see, our 1183UN, albumin, bromocresol green, our Moda 1, and our Laboratories. As you can see, we only have very few results. So if we increase our date range, and click generate again, we'll have a much bigger cluster of results. And as you can see, we're having more graphs because more of our assays has data available. You'll notice that some of the graphs aren't there, and that is because some of the assays that we chose didn't have any results added within them. So we'll begin with the top one. So with the top one, we have our lot number again, our analyte, our method, our unit, our instrument model, and our reagent supplier. And all the results are plotted as green dots. The only one that stands out is our yellow triangle. So if we hover over each data point, we are given some values and some statistics and data. The data that's included is the date and time of the result value itself, its SDI value, and in this case, its status. In this case, it's caused an alert and it is a warning. We'll then be given the reason why a warning has been triggered, and it's because 1 result exceeds 2 SD and 2 results exceed 2 SD. Whenever a result is clicked on, we can leave a comment. When we leave a comment, say acceptable, I hit save. You'll notice that the data point turns into a triangle. This is useful for ensuring that if you have any rejected values or alerted values, that it has been reviewed. We can also add means lines by clicking on the means, and this can show us our means. It can also show us data points that are outside. So if we wish to see these data points that are outside our Levi Jennings charts, we simply come up to the top, and as mentioned before, we change our SDI slider to variable, regenerate the charts, and we'll find our rejects, and our SDI ranges drastically changes. We'll find a rejected value over here. If you want to zoom in on a Levi Jennings chart that is so spread out like this, we simply draw a box and it will zoom us in. We can reset the zoom also. We put this back to fixed, generate. If we want to see our performance across numerous lots and tests, we can simply click the combine, click generate again, and we get the combined version with all of the selected lots. We can also make our STIs variable again to show all the data points. And we can deselect certain lots to look at certain ones. So if we want to look at just the 1066 UE, we have them there. Or if we just want to look at the 1183, we can select them also. We can also have this printed out in portrait or in landscape. We also have the option to do our percentage deviation, which is to do with performance limits that have been set on each lot, and this cannot be combined because the performance limits are set differently to each test, so we can't combine this, and there has been none set to these, but this is set up by showing the deviation of each result from the target performance limit. The other charts available include our histograms, which I'll quickly show us, where we have our SDIs set in a range and the frequency of the results within each SDI range for each QC test. We can combine these similar to the Levi Jennings, and we can deselect and select lots also. And finally, we have our performance summary. This chart is useful for comparison against the peer group, where we can compare our CVI and our SDI compared to our peer group. It's useful to set this to variable, and then we get some of our results. So our SDI is on the left, our CVI is on the bottom. These green squares represent desirable range, where it's 0 to 1 SDI and 0 to 1 CVI. And then we have from 1 to 1.5 CVI and SDI is the acceptable range, and 1.5 to 2 SDI and CVI in positive and negative ranges, is the borderline. Beyond that is underperforming, and we can see these in these specific lots. Again, you can select and deselect lots, and if you hover them, you get your CVI and SDI data. Below that, you're presented with a table showing your result count for your assay compared to your peer group, including the mean SD, CV, and your CVI and SDI. It's important to note that your results are not included in the peer group whenever you're comparing against them. And any underperforming results will be shown, as usual, as a rejected value in terms of it is underperforming in red. And then that concludes the chart generation portion of the Randox Acusera 24/7 training series.